Okay, good evening. Welcome. Thank you for being here tonight on a busy Thursday. We've got a 4-day weekend coming up. We will try to get you out of here as fast as we can. We know you've been in classrooms. We hope you enjoyed your experience with teachers. My name is Grant Beckwith, principal, and we are honored to have you with us here tonight. We're going to begin, as we always do at these meetings at the beginning of the year, by singing our school song. Following which we will have an opening prayer offered by Mr. Valverde, one of our parents. LaDon Jacob, one of our board members, will conduct the school song. Rob Swenson, our music department director, fine arts director, is here at the piano, and choir director. So let's go ahead and stand and sing the school song together. And then we'll go into prayer. And our Pledge of Allegiance will be conducted by Brett Gerlach, another one of our board members.
Our Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this beautiful day that we have. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to gather here tonight and learn how to best bring our children closer to Thee, and to be able to coordinate with the wonderful instructors in this school, that we may be able to teach our children the way to return to live with Thee one day. We're grateful for the freedoms that we enjoy here in this country, and we ask You to please bless us that we may be able to always be able to be a light into the world and be able to help those who are in need. Bless us that we may learn the things that we need to learn in our meeting tonight. And this we pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
In honor of... Is this on? In honor of God and country, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are going to begin our school year by hearing from our parent organization president, Jenny Burr. Then we will hear from our chairman of the board, Dan Burton, who has just recently taken over. He was chairman-elect last year, shadowing Bob Sorensen. I see Bob and Robbie Ann here as well. So we'll first hear from Jenny Burr and then Dan Burton. Jenny.
Thank you. All right. Can you hear me yet?
Yep, just hold
Yes?
it close.
Parents, I am very excited to be here this evening with you. Sitting in my child's classrooms, listening to their teachers has really just boosted my enthusiasm for the beginning of this school year. I am excited to work with these teachers, and especially that my children get to benefit from their example and their wisdom. I am very excited. This year, I would like to start by sharing with you something that's new within the parent organization. As the school grows and expands, our depth of responsibility grows with it. We have moved from a presidency of just a few parents into a parent organization board. I was very appreciative when I discussed this idea with Grant last year of expanding the leadership potential within the parent organization. We have such amazing parents that take these positions seriously, and the organization runs itself, and for that I'm grateful. The 6 board members are Melissa Washburn, Jody Nielsen, Autumn Cook, Krista MacArthur, Shannon Brown joins us this year, as well as Melanie Sorensen. Each of these board members chair specific areas over which the parent organization helps support and administer volunteer opportunities within the school. So we will have one board member who is over the service and fundraising events of the school. Another board member who's going to help be a teacher support chair, a parent support chair, a student support chair. So events that fall within those categories, now each board member only has to manage maybe a group of 4, whereas last year we were all managing 9 and sometimes more. So I'm really excited that I've had so many parents be willing to step up and take upon these responsibilities. The board truly functions very independently. I'm doing very little this year. Also, I would like to share with you how the parent organization involves each one of us as parents. The American Heritage is a unique environment for our children to come and be educated every day. Part of that unique environment is the level of parent involvement and service that we all put in to help build our children's experience and help support our teachers so that they can focus very much on enhancing the curriculum here. As you volunteer in the classroom, at holiday parties, driving on field trips, helping with Picture Day, Fall Festival, or any of those events, you, along with us, are part of that parent organization. It's not just the parents who serve on the board or the team leaders who organize, it's all of us. We all take part of this organization, which contributes to the fantastic environment that is American Heritage. So with just the minute I have left, parents, if you could, and can we go down the thumbnails on the homepage? If you go to the American Heritage, oh, Grant's going to do it, sorry. Yep. If you go to the homepage, we are desperately, desperately trying to go paperless and to make information, that one, readily available to parents. This year, these volunteer sheets that some of us have seen for years, it's all online. Now, Grant, I'm going to have you click on one of these blue highlights. Click on
how about lunchroom? Can we do lunchroom?
Yes, let's do lunchroom. There's the plug.
Mrs. Brockbank, you can thank me for this later.
Yay.
Look at this airtime.
So you click on that off the master list, and it's going to take you to a volunteer sign-up sheet. Okay? These sign-up sheets are living documents. Whenever there's a change made, we see it instantly. I can see it. Brooke can see it, who's the lunchroom lead. You can see it. There we go. Now, can you go back to, so X out of that one, Grant, or go back to master list.
Okay.
One more. Well, correct.
This, got it.
Yeah. So click on, let's do, go to room parents. Right there. Click on the handbook. One thing that's new this year to help support our teachers is we are trying to create a room parent program with its own chairman, with 4 coordinators that work with her, to help support our teachers more in the classroom. So this year for room parents, we have created a handbook that teachers can see as a reference, room parents can see as a reference, anybody can see it. And all of the volunteer sign-up sheets, like if you want to be a room parent, are linked through this document. They're also linked to the master document. So this year, go to the website, click on the thumbnail that says we're searching for volunteers. Information is there, volunteer sheets are there. We are super excited about going paperless because You can do this anywhere. Now, the other one I want you to click is Fall Festival. On this kind of light orange sheet, Fall Festival is the parent organization's big party of the year. This event has transformed from years past. It is super fun. We have a catered dinner now. We have attractions and events that are fun and enjoyable for the whole family. Now, the Fall Festival has separate sign-ups for volunteers with shifts. Go to Carnival Worker, Grant, right there.
We need more at the fish booth, too.
Yeah, if you can go over to the right.
This is awesome,
it
Jenny.
is.
This is really
I know,
great. Can
it
we
was
just give a
fun.
big round of applause? This is really great.
So, anyway.
This is
so
Carnival Worker. Carnival Worker, right there.
Yeah.
We're there.
There's pictures on this document. We can't quite see it right now, but off to the right, there's pictures of what we mean by hayride or dunk tank. So you kind of have a visual so you know what you're signing up for. We would strongly encourage parents or your teenager high school students to sign up to help at Fall Festival. We have shifts, so you don't have to spend the entire evening working. You can still enjoy the evening with your family. If you don't want to work during Fall Festival, you can help with the caterers beforehand. It's all right there. So I had one more comment. Now I can't remember. Anyway, we are so thrilled to be serving with you this year. I am very excited about American Heritage. My heart is here. And partially it's because my children are here, and they are nourished and taught and blessed every day by the amazing teachers that are here at American Heritage. They love the parents. We love you parents and all the support that you put towards these events. I wish I could have a half an hour to expound about how I feel about American Heritage. But as you get involved and as you serve, you'll catch this feeling and sense of excitement and fulfillment that you can have as we all serve within the parent organization at American Heritage. I appreciate the parents and the support you give to me, your friendly comments. They go a long way to boosting my enthusiasm serving in this role. For this, I thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. What an incredible representative of the parents that give so much and serve so much. It's an honor to be here with all of you. So tonight, I am grateful for the opportunity to represent the Board of Trustees and share just a couple of thoughts with you for just a few minutes. I wanted to share a message of thanks, a message of encouragement, and then a challenge. First of all, a message of thanks. I had three parts to this message. First, I wanted to recognize and thank the members of our Board of Trustees. And in the interest of time, if I could just have members of the Board of Trustees that are here with us this evening to just stand up and be recognized for your service. Thank you. Thank you, members of the board. These are, much like Jenny shared, these are parents here at the school. These are parents and grandparents. These are individuals that care a great deal about our children collectively, the experience that our children have at the school on a daily basis. These are individuals that are involved, that stay involved, that participate in committees, specifically focusing on important areas of the school's development. And I appreciate the service, the volunteer service that is represented on the Board of Trustees. The second part of my message of thanks is to the administration and faculty. Could we also have the administrators and faculty members stand up? I want all the parents to know that we as a Board of Trustees are 100% in support of our administration and our faculty. We feel so honored that they have chosen to be here. I know that I speak for so many parents in voicing this appreciation for the service that is provided. We as a board are so grateful to have Grant Beckwith leading this school. That is a feeling that I feel almost on a daily basis for the kind of leadership that he has provided to this school and the other administrators and then the teachers that on a daily basis make such an impact. I feel such gratitude for the faculty and the administration here. And finally, yes, thank you. Finally, I want to recognize all the parents here. Everything that is done at the school is designed to be an extension of the important and central work that happens at home. And without the work that you do in your homes, the complement that American Heritage provides, it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't be enough. And I want to recognize the important, sacred, central work that each of you as parents do. So let's give ourselves a round of applause. So with that message of thanks, let me turn to a message of encouragement. As I have reflected and had the opportunity to sit in over the past going on 5 years now and observe the work that happens inside the walls at American Heritage School, I can see many parallels between the work of a parent in the home and the work of a teacher and an administrator here at school. One example, one experience that I had as I was reflecting on a couple of thoughts I might share hit me this morning. We are not advanced gardeners at the Burton home, but we keep trying every year. And we have a small garden, and this morning I just noticed that it might be time to take a look at the garden, and I walked out and picked a few ripe strawberries and a couple of zucchini, and felt in a small way the joy of the harvest. And it reminded me of a beautiful talk that I wanted to just share a couple of thoughts from. This was a talk given long ago, but a talk that has really impacted me about the law of the harvest and planting and nourishing something called late crops. It was given by Henry B. Eyring in 1982 at BYU. And he talked about the analogy of making an investment in crops that don't, perhaps in the near term, show signs of progress. They're not early crops from a harvest perspective. Elder Eyring says, husbands, wives, parents, and even children are familiar with deciding, shall I keep giving when I'm getting so little? Families may be the best place to find out how the world feels about working and waiting for late crops. Families require some of the toughest investment decisions of all. Most of you know what investments and patience are required to maintain virtue, serve an effective mission, or build an eternal family. But perhaps many of you haven't given enough attention to how much the world is moving away from the idea of delaying gratification long enough to do those things. You shouldn't really be surprised to have arrived in an I want it now generation. Now reflect with me for a moment. If those words were true in 1982, how much more true are they in the day and age in which we live? Let me continue. He says, you are believers, not scoffers. Yet the scoffers can be helpful because they encourage you to get an answer to this question. What am I willing to keep giving heart and soul for when neither I nor the scoffers may see returns for a long, long time? And when we decide there are potential rewards worth that commitment, you'll want answers to another question. How can I keep myself working and waiting if the scoffers are loud and the delay long? And finally, let me finish with this quote and then the challenge. Elder Eyring says, there are spiritual crops that require months, years, and sometimes a lifetime of cultivation before the harvest. Among them are spiritual rewards you want most. That shouldn't surprise you. Common sense tells you that what matters most won't come easily. Now to the challenge. When I think of the work that happens in our homes, when I reflect on the experience that I have as a father of 4 children, all of whom have had the American Heritage experience, and when I think about the work that happens in the classroom each day, as I have observed it over and over again, this is the heavy lifting. This is the work of tilling and nurturing that occurs over days, months, years, and decades. This is work that sometimes does not show an immediate return. This is work that requires us to stay committed. And I want to encourage and challenge administrators, teachers, and parents, all of us, to take heart, to continue to make those investments, to complement and support one another. For teachers, seek for additional ways each day where you can extend patience even when you're tired. For parents, take time on a daily basis to ask your children what they learned and spend time at the dinner table discussing these important topics. As you continue to make these investments, I promise you that over long periods of time, you will come to sense, and I know that so many of us know that this is true, and I'm just offering a voice of encouragement tonight, that the work that you do will be among the most important work you will ever do, and that the resulting harvest, though it may take decades to realize, will be well worth the effort. Thank you for your efforts, and thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, Dan. I wish you could have all seen Dan as he came to address our teachers at our back-to-school orientation. He just sat there on the stage like a father would, maybe, at home, opened his scriptures and read to the teachers and shared a thought that's sort of been an anchor for us through this first few weeks of school. In fact, I shared it with you in one of the all-school emails where he said that we can teach our children to dance the steps, but they have to learn to hear the music themselves. And we need to help them to do that. So Dan, thank you for setting that example, that visual image. We're grateful for you. And Jenny and all the parents in the parent organization, that is a huge job. This is not your typical parent-teacher organization. Let's give them another big round of applause. Well, welcome back. Roaming the halls before we had everyone come back on the first day of school is a bit of a sacred experience. Raise your hand if you're a teacher here, whether here or someone else. I just want to see teachers. Just raise your hands so you know what this is like. And as I stepped into the classrooms and just stood there and felt the spirit of preparation and love, it was a humbling thing. And then seeing all the children grace the doorways again, it is just so beautiful to have the children and families here again. It's just an office job until you all return. And then this building and this mission fulfills the measure of its creation, and there is energy here. And it is transformational. And it's an energy that comes from all of us. That reminds me of something I learned at yoga, right? I did it. You should come to yoga. It's really great. Una didn't think she was going to plug for this here, but it was wonderful. Okay. Well, here's what you should have in your hands tonight. You should have the updated parent handbook. Dan, I apologize. We still have Bob's board letter in there, but that's not a bad board letter. That's a great board letter. So, Bob, there's a little tip to you. We'll have Dan update the electronic one online, get a letter from him. You should have a summary of updated policies. That's the blue document. Actually, it's a yellow one, sorry. Yellow page, 2 pages. You should have what's new at American Heritage. You saw that in your seating packages, and we'll go a little bit more into depth into some of those things tonight. Not a lot of them, but just a few of them. You should have the school calendar at a glance. That has been updated since the one that you received in your seating package, and so always the best calendar to go to is online. Tools, calendars, or Veracross has calendars. Those are the best, so use the digital ones if you can, but this is as current as it gets. You should have a Veracross and Office 365 letter. That's the peach-colored one. That will help you to understand some things about credentials. If you have not been getting the all-school emails or your teacher emails on Veracross, you may have a filter or firewall setting that's sending emails to junk. I hope that's not intentional, but if you will safe list or whitelist email from Veracross and that domain in that letter, that Veracross domain, you'll make sure to get those. Self-directed study. If you're a new family at the school and you have not picked up one of these, please, after this meeting, swing by the library, and Mrs. McConkey, who's right there at the camera, wave your hand, Mrs. McConkey, will get you one of these. This is required reading, and you will actually check a box saying that you read this, along with attended foundations training at least once while a parent here. So get one of those. And then a few other handouts. This annual report, some of you may have seen this, but we just printed this about 2 weeks ago. Take a look at this. Some wonderful things, breakthrough things happened last year, 2014-15, including full accreditation. Big round of applause for Mr. Anderson and our whole accreditation team. That was 6 or 7 years in coming and work on that. And fundraising last year, $780,000 from all of you. That's a record, hands down. So big round of applause. We're going to talk about some things tonight that are only possible because of all of that sacrifice and giving last year. So thank you. Okay, the front office asked me to clarify that pizza orders will be done on Veracross and only on Veracross. Those orders are due by this coming Wednesday, September 9th, for the first pizza day on Monday, September 14th. And I'll show you Veracross a little bit more later. Okay. So here's what we're going to cover in the next about a half hour. We'll just focus on a few of the updated policies, some things that are new. We do have some child security and protection things to cover with you. And then priorities. We're going to spend most of our time on some priorities. We have had a board meeting. We have an important teacher development and curriculum committee meeting coming up, and then our strategic plan and some development goals. But I can't leave summer too soon. So if you were at the Back to School Assembly 2 years ago, this happened to me over the summer. Max Goddard did that. I saw him in the hallway this past summer, and he walked past me with these saran wrap boxes. I should have known. You know, the really great thing about, yeah, you can give him big. The really great thing about American Heritage School students is they still pull pranks and stuff, but do you see that pack of gum he left me on the windshield? That black thing on top is a garbage bag. He even gave me a garbage bag to clean it up with. The trip to New York was just incredible. And I read with great longing, wishing that I could have been there, the account of our students at the Solomon Schechter School, a Jewish school that actually participates in our curriculum via distance education. And our choir singing the hymns of Zion to this Jewish congregation of students, and then them singing the hymns of Jewry to us, and just celebrating our godly heritage as a country. It was powerful and beautiful. And caught up on some sleep. Some of you maybe did that too. a little bit of camping, bad hair day. Students thought this should be the new dress and grooming standard. Spent some time with some families in the school, got to know them a little bit better, and some students. Boy, it's amazing what you learn about people when you spend a week with them. This, our first two alumni who got married to each other. Yeah. Joseph Anderson and Karina Hansen. Two such outstanding graduates, and we actually used their wedding announcement to make a point about no public displays of affection, which is a change to our honor code this year, not because of them, but so we said, so when you're engaged, you can do that PDA thing. You can even announce your PDA, but until then, this kind of touching is okay. And this kind of touching's okay, and this kind of touching's okay. And they got the point, right? All right, what's new at American Heritage this year? You've got a handout so you can read some more details on these things. These are bullets of those, but I will say that thanks in large part to much of your giving, we were able to bring on teachers' aides in almost every classroom this year, every grade level, but as well as some specialty classes, science and others, and it has made a tremendous difference already. Do we have any teachers here that could raise their hands and vouch for what it means to have a teacher's aide in your classroom? So thank you all for your giving for that. New science room, 508 upstairs. This is now our third fully functioning science room at the school. 10-foot lab tables are coming, ceiling-mounted projection, more lab equipment. We listened a lot last year to you, and three of the areas that you said were important were science and technology, physical education and athletics, and foreign language. How about the new Spanish teacher? Does anyone have had Spanish? Children come home. Spanish teacher is wonderful. Lori Welch was our Spanish teacher before. She was wonderful too, but she's actually helping in that class still, and so we got the best of both worlds. Okay, and there's some more technology initiatives, again, largely a result of your feedback on our parent surveys, student surveys. Modified block schedule. This gives us more time to focus on project-based learning, place-based learning. So on Wednesdays, we have 2-hour blocks in science, written portfolio, and some other courses that really need that kind of focused study. We have a full-time chemistry and physics instructor now. That's Mr. Adams. If he's here, raise your hand, Mr. Adams. It's been a long time coming. There he is, way up on the back. Almost impossible to find science teachers who are actually trained in science these days. Trust me, I talk to other principals. Many of them are hiring people from other backgrounds to teach science, and we've got someone who has a biochemistry background who loves to teach, wants that to be his career. We're so grateful to have you, Mr. Adams. New electives, there they are, English 440, concurrent enrollment, that gets college credit. That's something else that you wanted to see us start doing. We hope there will be more of those. That's a young adult literature class, can be taken over 1, 2, or 3 years. Computer programming and web design, American Sign Language 2, music appreciation. We also heard many of you say that it would be nice if we had someone whose job was focused on the path to college and college admission and high school graduation credits and all of that, as well as the whole emotional wellness factor that we talked about in the parent meeting here in January. We live in an age of addictions and depression and anxiety, and this person who we've hired, Sherry Raymond, is someone who comes from a family of counselors. Some of you might recognize that last name, Raymond. Dr. Raymond is at BYU. This is his daughter, and she is trained and experienced in this area, and so we're very grateful to have her. Is Sherry here tonight? Maybe she could just, if she's here. Okay, she's not here tonight. She does counseling for another school as well. She's actually part-time doing our school, another school. Change from Riggs to Spalding. You can read more about that in your letter. Those of you who were in the elementary grade classes probably heard more about this. We're very excited about it. Continued family impact sensitivity. The board, the curriculum committee, we are all continuing to work on this balance. More on this in just a minute. Thank you, Vicki. Okay. Yes, you can applaud for that. Veracross Parent Portal, more on that in just a minute. More additional voice amplification makes a big difference in classrooms. Family School all-in-one subscription. We have just over 2,000 families who signed up for this and are still doing it. In fact, it was interesting. In August, we had about a dozen students who actually went from the daytime school to the family school, because as families got accustomed to what was offered here, they thought, we're going to try homeschooling. And they did. And that's wonderful. I'm actually on record as having challenged our distance education department to draw off 25% of our enrollment at the school with a program that is so good that families would rather do that than be here. And I'm afraid they might actually succeed. We are doing fine on campus, don't worry about that. And then lunch modifications. Some of you might have heard a little bit of whining about lunch, but the reason we have changed the lunch recess from used to be after lunch, this is just elementary school, now it's before lunch, is based on a lot of science, literature, experience from schools across the country who learned that when children play first and then go to lunch, their metabolism is revved up and they want to eat fruits and vegetables. A lot of science behind this. We've actually watched, and they do. They're eating their fruits and vegetables more. Amazing. And because they're not going to recess after lunch, they actually take a little bit more time to eat. Now, we've got some logistics to smooth out, but that's the purpose behind it. So the lineup logistics and getting them back to class and all that stuff is still coming, but we're working on it. Okay. Veracross. Can we switch to the internet, Nathan? Big thanks to our technology people. This was a meeting that's got to switch back and forth. Okay, Veracross. It's new. Raise your hand if you like it better than Edline. Okay, that's pretty good. Straw poll. Some of you are still getting to know it. Tools, Veracross. It's right there. You click on Veracross. You come to a sign-in page. Username and password credentials, that peach-colored paper that you have will give you more information on that if you don't already have your credentials. When you come, you'll see the parent portal, which looks like this. You'll have your children on the left side, all on one page. That's an improvement over Edline. Yes. Many of our board members and others actually helped us to do research on this, to choose it, and we've settled upon it. Right here, we want to call to your attention to these profile links. Update my household profile. We need you to continue to keep this information current for lots of reasons. You'll see emergency contacts here, pickup authorizations, report card, who can get report cards in your family, medical information. If something changes with the medical disclosures for your children, you can update it here. If your family changes, new relationships, new members of your family, please provide this information to us. Personal directory preferences. You can opt out of being on the directory. You can put more information in the directory. As a personal request, I would love to have your cell phones visible in the directory, but even if you don't do that for the whole school community, we still can do that as a front office. So however you want those preferences here, but one of the other great things about Veracross is this directory right up here. Click on that directory and you can not only search by name for anyone in the school, but you can also search by categories of people, all the first grade families, all the 8th grade families, just lots of versatility here, including faculty and staff. You can search for them here. So just some really great tools. Okay, you could also download the whole directory. You saw a PDF there, some of you were looking. Okay, back to the parent portal. Parent service and training record. In the past, we've had you come into the front office to record hours, or we had a Google document to record hours. Now, it's right here on Veracross. You click on parent service training record, and you just tell us, click that button, how many hours are you currently at. There's a notes field over here where we'd like you to put the exact number of hours. Believe it or not, this sometimes becomes the difference between how we seat families, teacher requests and things, so this range may not be enough for us sometimes. But down lower, if you keep scrolling, how did you serve? all that detail right here. Please tell us. You can scroll how you're serving. September meeting. How do we take attendance for this? This is a required meeting. I'm just going to click attended right there. Save my changes. Okay, that's how you will do it too. Let us know. Were you here? Were you not? The January meeting coming up. We only have 2 of these required meetings. You'll record both of them here. If you don't attend, you can view the recorded meeting. You'll need to send an email to any administrator and say, could you send me the video link? And we'll do that. We're not making it generally available because we want you here. Otherwise, contact us and we'll send you the link. Training requirements. You only need to attend Foundations training 1 time. It's required when you're a new family at the school. And read the self-directed study 1 time, typically as a new family. We might need you to check that as being done every year as a returning family, but just make sure those are checked. That's the parent service and training record. We hope that'll be a lot easier than the things that we've done in the past. Okay, volunteer opportunities link is right there. Jenny showed you that. Here's the pizza sign-ups link. You can come there. Every 2 months you will sign up for pizza. You can just click on each of your children and select how many slices you want of each kind. It will tally it up. This is the September, October, and then October 25th, you'll register for November and December. Okay, so 5 days before the new month, you register for the new 2 months upcoming. All right, a few other things. Down here on your children, you'll notice that if you need to see their class schedule, it's right there. It's nice and pretty. You can see where they are at any given time. Those are sometimes updated. You can also, right here, do you see where this says free, no more classes? That means he's not in school right now. If you were to look at Veracross and wanted to find out where is my child at school right now, open Veracross, it will say 3rd period biology class number 312. Really nice for us and for you as parents if you need to find them quickly or us to find them quickly. Okay, there's an assignment planner that puts all of their assignments together, and you can see homework here. If you were just to scroll down, you can see all their classes, and it will just say when projects are due, so you could have a list of these from each classes. There's even an assignment planner that puts all of your children together to see what projects are due on any given day for all of your children, okay? I know, I can see the tears of gratitude glistening on your eyes. This is when we ask you to donate. Ready? Take out your checkbooks. I'm not kidding, Jody. This was expensive, but it was worth it. Thank you. You donated last year. This is part of what we used your money for. Okay, I think that's enough on on the parent portal. There's lots more that we could show you. We just wanted to give you that basic. Administrators, anything else on Veracross that we should say? You can subscribe to calendar notifications and homework notifications. The calendar is right here. If you were to go to the calendar, you can see it's all there. Our calendar is also, of course, where it used to be here on the website, but it is as well here on the Veracross Parent Portal. And you can subscribe on the left right there for notifications. Okay? All right. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Only someone like Heidi would ask, is 70 the maximum? She has like 370 every year. I think that's the maximum there. Actually, lots of you do that. 2,000. Okay, so just put that in the exact column. Yes, let's give her a big round of applause, and all of you that do that. Put that number in the notes field where we say we want the exact amount. Just put that there. Okay, security and child protection. These are some of the things that we've had in place for a long time. We just wanted you to see everything that we're doing. We're going to talk about carpool safety briefly here. This is an aerial view of the school. These are the crosswalks. Please do not stop or park in the crosswalks. And please encourage your children to use crosswalks, even if you're stopped and parked along a sidewalk adjacent to the school, okay? So you can just see during carpool how there's lots of cars parked all around the school. Look over on the northeast corner where the basketball hoops are. It's okay to park under those basketball hoops and around the east fence and things like that, but please don't encourage your children to cross the parked cars and to cross the traffic lanes outside of marked crosswalks, okay? Have them go to one of those marked crosswalks and come to your cars from the safe side. Does that make sense? Please do that. We haven't had an accident yet. We hope never to have an accident. We take security very seriously. Mr. Wheeler takes security very seriously. Mr. Wheeler, raise your hand. There's our security director right there. I probably shouldn't say this in a parent meeting, but Mr. Wheeler actually confronted a neighbor who had a pellet gun in the field, and it was a serious deal. The neighbor was shocked that we had someone that was on him that fast. Mr. Wheeler, thank you for keeping us safe. Okay. This is looking from the east, looking westward. You can see the temple there. We have had some carpool queuing and backing up problems on that red lane, on that eastbound lane right there, because it's a fairly short lead time before you turn left into the parking lot. That was created in, according to code. The city traffic engineers approved that. Just know that you might sometimes get stuck there, causing traffic to back up into the intersection. And if you can avoid that queue by using this lane coming into that same entrance, it's better to come from the west than the east coming through that intersection, okay? Not telling you can't do what I just showed you here. You can. It's just that a lot of times there's construction going on at the Rasmussen's home, and they have cars along the curb. It just gets pretty tight there, okay? So we'd prefer that you use this one and make right-hand turns into the school as opposed to left ones. And, of course, you can make any of the other entrances and exits as you like. All right, priorities for the year. Attract and retain mission people. This means teachers. This means board members. This means students. There is no mission, there is no policy, there is no program and no school that will rise above the people that it attracts and retains, or that will preserve and sustain itself over time. This is our single most important priority, and actually has been for a long time. Mission people. This is an image of mission people. People who believe the gospel story. This is the Sacred Grove. This is an image of mission people. Athletics is a culture that has taken over entire schools. Maybe even taken over entire nations. Athletics are great, but some things are greater. These are mission people. These are temple people. These are mission people, serving and enjoying serving, not just because they have to. The 4 C's that you've heard us talk about before: clean culture, consent, consistency. Our student government, and by the way, those 4 C's, we talked about these last year. The students have started doing things with this culture of consent, that they choose to be here. And once they choose to be here, they give their consent to be taught deeply. I want you to watch this video. See what the student government did, not at any prodding of ours about this topic and theme, but this theme of choice and I choose. Adam Sheets put this together. He's one of the members of our Student Government Association. Davin Nielsen is our president. And they have just started the year off in a way that even elementary school students are doing things in their classrooms that's focused on this particular theme. Nathan, I can come back to it if you don't have it. You got it? Okay. Big round of applause for tech people. It's always a hard seat to sit in. It's 2 minutes. Wasn't that nice? So, I'd like our brand new board members to stand up, please. Jeff Sheets, we'll have him stand up first. Jeff is the director of the BYU Ad Lab and the director now of the Center for Creative Cooperation. I think I have that right, at BYU, something like that. But he is an advertising genius, a professor at BYU, joins our board. Adam Sheets is his son. Chip off the old block, it looks like. Welcome to Jeff. Janine Miner, I saw Janine right there. Janine Miner. You recognize that name. They've been here as long as almost any of us, beginning of this campus. And Janine does a lot of things, has been through a lot of grades, levels here, I think all of them, kindergarten up, has had graduates from American Heritage. She has a lot of insight into what works well at home at American Heritage, what doesn't. And she's going to add a lot of wisdom and energy to our board conversations. Her husband, Curtis Miner, former board chair and architect of the school. Welcome, Janine Miner, to the board. Julie Sessions, right there. So I could say just about the same things I said about Janine with respect to Julie. Many of the improvements in the school over the years actually have come as a result of Julie calling Grant and saying, Grant, have you ever thought about, that was true of our orchestra program actually. Julie called me and said, have you ever thought about an after-school orchestra program at the school? And look what it's become. She just has a lot of very insightful ideas. So welcome, Julie. Her husband, Travis, was a board member, and her daughter, Amber, is the vice president in the Student Government Association this year, was elected. And then Fraser Bullock, who is, I don't believe, is Fraser here tonight? He sent me an email saying he would likely not be able to make it. But Fraser Bullock, some of you recognize that name. He's a who's who in Utah business. He served as a former area authority, and we're very grateful to have him. He's a grandfather at the school, and he had some health issues that caused him to have to step off of many of the boards that he was previously on, but he said American Heritage was one that he wanted to stay on, and we're very grateful for that. So let's give all those new board members a big round of applause. There's our student government at their retreat. Science, technology, physical education. You told us that you wanted to see us focusing more on some of these areas. We've done that in many ways. You're going to see that. You're going to feel that this year. Balancing schoolwork and family work. We know that it takes a lot of work, including homework, to be admitted to college. To be admitted to good colleges, almost any college, to be prepared for college takes a lot of work, including some homework. But we are not a college prep school. That's not to say we don't prepare students for college. Please don't misunderstand me. We do. We've had many graduates, over 100 of them, go to some of the finest colleges in the country. But we're not a college prep school. That's not our reason for existence. We are a family prep school. And what we mean by that is that the measure of great men and women will never be where did they go to college. The measure of great women will be what did they do in the common lot of mankind, which has a lot more to do with family than it does college. And it turns out that running a healthy, happy, fulfilled home is a lot harder than going to college. I don't care which college, right? And takes a lot more education and takes a lot more balance, and we want to give our children experiences and training and tools that help them to be successful moms and dads, fathers and mothers, healthy homes, and to experience happy homes. So, family work is important work. And we know that schoolwork can sometimes interfere with family work. We're trying to continue to improve that balance. Important curriculum committee meeting coming up where the board has said to us, come back with some more specific recommendations where we can strike that balance a little bit better. But we've already done some things, including in math and science. We're going to be emphasizing those subjects more, but particularly we're emphasizing those subjects in class and the things that we do with project-based work, not homework. So you will see some things such as in math where we will require more effective use of class time, hopefully bringing less math home. It doesn't mean they won't bring any math home, but hopefully less math. Maybe working more of the corrections at home and not the new problems at home, okay? Math department, science projects, more of those will be optional in more grade levels this year. Again, trying to help inspire learning at home, but not require so much learning at home, okay? More on that to come. Teacher professional development. We know that investing in our teachers is one of the highest return things we can do with our money at school. And we are going to continue to spend more on training and helping our teachers to have experiences that they bring back to the classroom. And then finally, keeping tuition low. This is something that we cannot lose track of and won't lose track of. This is a beautiful campus. This is a wonderful program. I've seen lots of high school programs, middle and elementary school programs. I've traveled the country looking at them. I've been on accreditation committees. There are very few in the world, really, that rival what's happening here. Put the gospel aspect aside, although we would never do that. That's why we come. This is an outstanding educational program. The facilities are outstanding. We could do so many more things that would cost a lot more money, but we're going to be very careful that we don't do that. And one of the reasons is that we're thinking about people like the Andersons now, who we think will want to have their children at the school. Will they be able to afford to have their children at the school 10 years from now? 5 years from now? Will you, your children, your grandchildren be able to afford it? This is the question the board continues to ask. You know, one of the things that we can do, the facility is expensive, and as it gets older, this is a 14-year-old facility. You wouldn't know it by walking into it, but it is. This culture, this clean culture, all of us being custodians of this building, students, parents. We have a food policy here. Please don't eat food in the hallways. Lunchroom or outside. I'm asking all of you to be a part of that, to encourage your children not to do that kind of thing. This will save us money. But at the end of the day, This mission is more important than buildings. We've talked about expanding the school campus. We hope that will happen soon. We're in the process still of the land negotiations for that. We have some good signals. But this mission is larger than buildings. It turns out that building culture is a lot harder than building buildings. That's something that Dan Burton said to me once upon a time, and I've never forgotten it. American Heritage School changes and saves lives. It's important for LDS families, and it's important for non-LDS families. You've heard me say this before. And so for us to continue to improve what we're doing here, we just need to continue to use donated capital for that. Otherwise, raising tuition is really one of the only alternatives. And we do have things that we need to improve. We know that. Our annual fund goal for the upcoming year is $700,000. Most of this will be for student financial aid to help families who would just never be able to be here otherwise. And not just families that are applying new to the school. We're also talking about teachers' families. Can you imagine trying to afford the tuition here, as low as it is? It's a quarter of what similarly situated private schools are, and we only charge half of the total cost of a seat. Can you imagine trying to pay for that on a teacher's salary, including our teachers' salaries? This is what much of our donated capital in our annual fund will go for. Okay, as well as teacher professional development, investing in our teachers, our people, our mission people, keeping them here, making them better, and retaining new mission people that are trying to find us and want this. As well as distance education. Okay, we have 1,000 students on campus. That counts full-time day students, 762. We started the year last year with 752 students. We're starting the year this year with 762 students. More are applying every day. And we have 8,000 distance education students, all 50 states and over 50 countries. This is not just a school in American Fork, Utah. This is a movement. This is something that is changing and saving lives for those whose alternatives where they live are frightening. And they couldn't be more grateful. And this past week, I got an email of a new family that was subscribing, and the name on that email was Renee Beckwith. That's my sister. And she's nowhere close to American Heritage School, and I didn't even know she was sorry. Blubbering here. Yeah, you're such a good clapper, Vicki. Okay, raise your hand if you have friends or family who are doing this and live far away, okay? That's just growing. And it will continue to grow. We estimate that 10,000 more people would do this if we were able to invest in an additional high school curriculum, middle school curriculum, and improve that, and we're going to do that. So we need your help with that. Okay, I want to introduce to you, you've heard a little bit about our cause, a little bit about why we're doing what we're doing, Stephen Espinoza. Stephen is our newly hired development director. He was a consultant to the school who came for our gala last year. He took our gala to a whole new level, and I joked with him that he ought to just join the school. Then I called him, and he asked me if I was serious, and I said, I'm absolutely serious. And so here he is. He's full-time with our faculty. Now let's give him a big round of applause. He's going to talk to you a little bit about how you can help direct.
Perfect. Thank you, Grant. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. So what I want everyone to do is pull out your cell phone really fast for me and hold it up in the air. Pretend you're back in like a 70s concert with a lighter, you know. Hold it up in the air for me. Everyone in the room that has a cell phone, hold it up in the air. I'm going to have you just simply text, and we're not going to use this information to spam. We already have all your phone numbers, okay? So we could do that if we wanted to. We're not. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to kind of give you an insight to what we do at the gala for those that were not here and those that were. So quick, before we do this, who here last year participated in the gala, whether at the gala or off-site with your mobile phone? Raise your hand for me. All right, so good number of people here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you pull out and create a new text message. You're going to send the phone number is a short code. So your phone number you're going to type is 52182. The message itself, we'll just have it be AHS15. Make sure there's no space, and then hit send. Okay. If you were here previously, you're just going to get a link that sends it back. That's going to be the link for this year's gala. If you were not here previously, it's going to ask you for your first name and your last name. So just reply with your first name, space, last name. One of the easiest test questions you'll ever have. Okay. If you are having problems, I will be here after. You can come find me after. And then it will ask you for your email address as well when you click on that link. Okay. Again, we're not going to spam you. We're not going to send you all this stuff. Okay. What I want you to do is to click on that link. We're looking for various aspects of the gala. We want to introduce you to the gala. It's the biggest fundraising event of the year. Whether you attend the gala, whether you support the gala by telling a friend about it, whether you are willing to donate an item that can be auctioned off in the silent or the live auction, we would love support. Maybe you just want to come volunteer and be a part of it and help spend some of your time. Service hours, okay? This is a good opportunity to come and serve as well. So when you open that link, okay, so just to go back and refresh, send a new text to 52182. Okay, is everyone getting this okay? Is there anyone, we're doing okay? Perfect. Give me a raise of hand if you're able to get the link from it, just so you have a good kind of a pull here. Overall, perfect. If you didn't or you have problems, find me outside in the hall, okay? Again, 52182, the message itself will be AHS15. Reply with your first name and last name, and then your email address. What I want you to do, this is the most important part here, okay? We're seeking your help. There's a flyer that you received, or it was out there. It came about halfway through, but there's a flyer that will be a blue flyer. Let me grab it real fast. Half of you may have missed this because it came in late, but it'll be a flyer that it's blue. It has some information on it as well that you can take home with you. When you click on that link, what I want you to do is either reply to that message and just type one of these things into that message and hit send. That gives us a feel of who's willing to participate in whatever level. You want to volunteer, you'd like to donate a live auction or a silent auction item, you'd like to purchase a ticket or maybe be a table sponsor or provide a sponsorship. Or when you click on that link, there will be 4 options. You just go click and buy. They're free. They're $0. And it has 4 of the options as well. The auction piece is bulked into one. Just click buy. That means you're saying, I'm interested in volunteering. I'm interested in a donation of an auction item. I'm interested in purchasing a ticket or attending the event or a sponsorship, okay? You will be contacted from this. We're hoping to get a gauge of this. We will contact you, make it as easy as possible with whatever your interest is, okay? So if you have any questions on this, I know we're probably shorter on time, but I'm going to pass this back to Mr. Beckwith. We appreciate the support. The gala is a great opportunity. It's a great event. We'd love to have you there. It's on October 9th if you'd like to attend. But again, if there's, I don't know if that was me. If there's any questions, okay. If there's any questions on the text, you couldn't get it through, or if you have any other questions regarding any of that, find me after. I'll be out in the hallway. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sticking with us. We're just going to conclude this meeting. I occasionally, as we get towards the end of our annual fund campaign, and we need some help, sometimes significant help, I have gone to homes and sat down with individuals who I thought might be able to give more than the average family. And I just want to say thank you publicly here to those. You know who you are, who gave significantly to our annual fund. We could not do this without you. There's just no way that we could do this without you. So could we give those families a big round of applause? Well, we're going to have a closing prayer before we leave. And Sarah, would you be willing to offer that? Before Sarah comes up, these are trying times. I've talked about an iron triangle that has 3 sides that are just putting pressure on families and homes, including regulatory pressure, things that are happening in courts and legislatures, economic pressure, just the cost of living, and the cultural pressure, the media that our children, the rising generation, are swimming in. It's leading to this continued rise of the nuns, children who are disaffiliating from organized religion and the faith of their fathers and mothers. That was 1 in 5 in 2009 from all religions in the United States were leaving their religion. It's now 1 in 4, just 6 years later. American Heritage School stands for the proposition that there is a way out of that iron triangle, and it must begin as the twig is bent, because so grows the tree. Thank you for seeing that vision with us. We stand together on the rock of principle and truths. Our Christian history as a country is something that can be preserved and recaptured, and we're doing that together. So give yourselves a big round of applause. Thank you for coming tonight. Sarah.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we are so grateful for many blessings. We are grateful, first off, to Thee for being such a good Father, Father that we can pray to and receive answers to prayers, a Father who cares for us and connects with us. We thank Thee for the gift of Thy Son, Jesus Christ, and for His love and mercy and devotion and His atonement, and all of the blessings that we receive every single day. And at this school meeting, we thank Thee for American Heritage School. We thank Thee for the people who have sacrificed so much in its foundations and creation, and for the administrators, teachers, and parents who sacrifice on a constant basis to maintain the special mission of this school. As we begin this new school year, we pray that Thou please bless the teachers and administrators to be clear thinking and to have energy to be able to accomplish the great load that they must accomplish every single day. And please bless our students that they will come to school prepared and ready to be edified in the education process. Please bless us as parents that we will prepare our homes every day and our hearts that we might receive our children when they come home from school, that we might be at the crossroads and show love and help prepare them that they might go back to school the next day and be lights and examples and soak up the learning that they are to receive. We thank Thee for all these blessings and pray that we will have a great school year, that our families and children will grow and that this school will flourish. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.